What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing an install on the GR Corolla shift boots by Build-A-Works. This will fit all 19 plus GR Corollas. Today we're in a 24, so I'm going to show you how to disassemble the trim and pieces you need to get out the shift boot and how to pop out the e-brake boot. Then we'll take you over to the table, show you how to actually install the boots onto the trim pieces that you need. Then we'll come back in the car, put everything back together. For the install, you can see we already do have the Build-A-Works Alcantara boots installed, but over on the table portion, I'll actually be using the OEM stuff, so you'll see exactly how the main portion of separating the OEM boots from the plastic pieces works. And then I'll show you from there how to actually glue the e-brake boot to the trim and how to properly slip on the shift boot to the trim ring. With that being said, it's a pretty straightforward install. First thing we're going to do is start with the shift boot, and the first thing we need to do is remove the shift knob, and that simply just threads off. So the next thing we have to do is pull up on this outer trim. The outer trim and the gloss black trim in the middle are actually two separate pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to just grab on the side and pull up. We're going to do the same on this side, like that. We've taken this apart already, so the black piece is kind of pre-separated, but sometimes you might actually have to push down to separate the black gloss piece from this piece. Now that we have the center gloss piece, we just got to wiggle it out. It can be a little tight. Keep maneuvering it. Eventually it will come out. Then we will just simply lift it up over the lockout. So now we have to remove the boot trim, and if you look along here, you can see there's these plastic clips that are holding it in. I just kind of like to grab the trim piece like this, take my thumbs, push down and out at the same time. And these are super tight and can be kind of a pain. So once you get one to pop, you just kind of work your way around and the rest will just pop as you go. Then that will separate the trim and the boot. And now we're going to go over to the table and I will show you how to actually separate your OEM boot from the trim piece and install the Build-A-Works Alcantara boot. Now we have the shift boot out of the car. You can do this in the car, but for the installation purpose of the video, we're just going to do it on the table here so you can see it a little bit better. So to remove the shift boot from the trim, there are 4 staples we have to remove. And to do that, we are going to use a really small flathead and a pair of angle cutters. So what I like to do is pick a corner, doesn't matter whichever you start, take your flathead and you're just going to wiggle it under the screw and pull up. And I'll go all the way around and then I'll come through with the angle cutters and pull the staples out. Once all of the staples are loose, we'll take the angle cutters, grab the staple, and we'll just wiggle it on out. All right, now we have all 4 staples out. Now we just go ahead and peel the shift boot on off. And then we will separate the trim piece from the shift boot. We don't need the shift boot, so we can just set it off to the side. Now when it comes to the shift boot itself, this is genuine Alcantara and we have it in 4 different styles. So we have the red with the black stitching, the black with red stitching, black with blue stitching, and black with white stitching. For today, we are going to be going with the black and red stitching to match that boot we just took off. So unlike the factory boot, whenever it comes to install this, we don't have to do any type of gluing or any type of stapling. It will just simply slip these posts through the laser cut holes in the shift boot, and then you can just clip it right back into place. So when it comes time to install the boot onto the trim piece here, there is no direct indicator on which is front and which is back, but I can show you the way how to figure that out pretty easy. So what you'll do is you'll take your trim piece here and you'll line it up with the part of the boot that has the little kind of arch cut in it. We're going to go ahead and take the trim piece and start on one side. We'll then flip it and then we will go ahead and do the other side. And you'll know that it is the right way when all of these slots will light up on both sides. So you can see everything just slipped right on. Now, if it isn't the right way, let me show you real quick. So say I put the boot on backwards, put it on this way, and I went to go do that, you can already see it's kind of getting a little wonky. But you'll see that the trim piece, this already popped off over here, doesn't want to stay on. If I try to put everything on and get it, it will go on, but you can see how tight it is on this corner. It will sit tight, but it shouldn't be stretching anything. You can see how I'm having to stretch that to get that put on. That's how you know it's on backwards, because it should not be that difficult to slip on. So I'll go ahead and take all this back off. We'll just go ahead and flip it back to the right way. You can see here now, this is lining up with this is lining up over here, and all the pieces are just falling into place where they're supposed to go, compared to the other way where everything was kind of having to be stretched and pulled in ways it did not want to go. And when it's installed, it should look nice and snug around here, but you shouldn't see any excessive stretching of the material on the trim piece. Now, all you have to do is put it back in your car and clip it into place, and we are done. So now we're back in the car. We can go ahead and reinstall the shift boot back into place. And actually, the way I like to do it, I will just reassemble the center console, and then I'll just snap this into place once it's all done. So let's go ahead and do that. Just gonna refeed the black gloss piece in here, get that aligned and snapped into place. And then we'll just clamp and snap the outer trim into place on top of that. For the orientation of the boot, the bottom has kind of a angled curve to it, which you can see will line up like that on this piece. Slide it down. Now, before I clip everything into place, I will make sure the boot is sitting properly on the reverse lockout. If you clip it in and the boot, you push it too far, you then have to remove everything to get the trim and the boot back over it. So that's sitting there. Now we'll just go ahead and clip everything back into place. Reinstall your shift knob. And your Billerworks Alcantara shift boot is installed. Now that the shift boot is done, we can move on to the e-brake boot. I recommend using a trim tool for this. Just get in the back here, and we're just gonna kind of create a little separation and pull up at the same time. Then we'll slip it up and off like that. A lot easier of a removal than the shift boot. And then same thing, let's go ahead over to the table, and I'll show you how to separate the OEM boot from the trim piece here, and then how to install the Billerworks Alcantara boot to the trim piece, and then we'll head back over and put it in. So once we have this popped out of the car, bring it over to your workbench. I wouldn't recommend doing this in the car just because we are going to be working with some glue here, and we do have to glue a new Billerworks e-brake boot to the plastic trim piece that comes from the factory. So to get the factory boot off, it is held with staples to the factory trim. So to take those staples out, you're going to be using a really small flathead, probably the smallest one you have, and a pair of angle cutters or dikes. And what I like to do is, it can be a little bit tricky. You take your small flathead and you're going to wedge it underneath the flat side of the screwdriver, kind of wiggling and twisting. And then once it gets popped up, I'll pull up the one end with the flathead. Then I'll take the pair of angle cutters, grab it, twist and pull, and it'll pop out just like that. So you go ahead and do that for all of them, then the boot will separate from the trim. Now these two staples in here will be a little bit more tricky to get to, so just take your time on them when it comes to getting them out, and make sure you don't poke yourself. So what I actually end up doing is I bent them up just a little bit, and I think I'm gonna go in and grab them with the angle cutters and then just pry it out. Yep, and that worked a lot better. It is a little bit tricky with the staple being so close to this lip to actually get in there. And even on this side, coming from this way, it can be a little bit tricky. So just getting them bent up a little bit and then going in with the angle cutters is going to be your best bet. Yeah, let's pop them right out. Go ahead and finish taking the rest of these staples out. Got one more. Oh, and I did actually miss two. There's some hidden on the corners here, so let's get those. And again, kind of similar to over here, they're kind of in a weird place where you might just have to go in with the angle cutters and get them out. And again, if you do nick your boot, remember this is the factory boot, we're not reusing it, so don't feel too bad. And then if you do for some reason reuse it, you want to be able to see it anyways, so. And last two staples coming out. And now the boot should just peel back and come over the clips like so. And you will then separate the boot from the trim. You can put this off to the side and we will be reusing this piece. Now that the factory boot is separated, we can go ahead and move forward. We do offer the e-brake boot in 4 colors. It is going to be a red with black stitching, black with white stitching, black with blue stitching, and black with red stitching. For today, we are going to go with the black with red stitching. So we're going to be installing this one here. All right, so since we are going with the black with red stitch boot, we can go ahead and start putting it onto the trim piece here. And to do that, we are going to utilize our install kit that we do sell separately, or you can add it on to your order when you're getting these boots. So when it comes to figuring out the orientation of how the boot goes, you can kind of see how it has this arch with it. And you might think, oh, the boot is going to go follow the arch. Well, that is actually just backwards. So if you put the trim piece like this, have the arch this way, the boot should kind of go this way. Another good indicator of which way it should go to is if you hold it this way, you can see that this side is shorter than this side. And we actually have 2 pre-cut holes on the shift boot right here that are actually going to go onto these 2 tabs right here. So what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll start by just sliding it over those holes like so. And then we'll just kind of mock everything up. So what I'll actually do is I'll use these clips to hold the boot in place while I mock it up and do everything around before we start gluing things in place. All right, so I got everything all mocked up. You can see nothing's just glued in place, everything's just clipped in there sitting. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that the line here is as close to the middle as I can get it. Just a little bit. So that way everything for the stitching is nice, straight, and in line. So we're looking pretty good there. So now we can go ahead and start the gluing process. And this is why you need the rag. Whenever these ship, obviously going up in the plane and stuff, they can build up some pressure. Whenever you take these lids off, they can pop on you a little bit, especially after you give it that first squeeze, get a little air bubble out. You can see how much glue just came out there, and you don't want to put all that on there. So just do that, keep a rag nearby, and after each time you put some down, just make sure you wipe the tip of the glue bottle off. So when it comes to gluing it, I just kind of do it in sections. I'll take the binder clips off, put some glue down, fold the Alcantara back down, and we'll do the whole boot, and then we'll let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before actually installing it back into the car. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. You don't need a lot. You need just a nice thin line of this glue. Do not glob it on too much. Just enough that makes a nice thin line. Another note, whenever you are messing with the glue, if you do get it on your fingers, just make sure to wipe it off your fingers before touching anything else. You don't want to get glue on your Alcantara boot up here. If it is around the bottom here, it will be okay, because again, it will be clipped into the center console so you won't see it, but you don't want to put any up here where people could see it. So just be mindful of that. Now with the 2 clips where the boot comes through, we're actually not going to put any glue on this section here, so you don't got to worry about gluing anything down there. Now when it does come to gluing down this back section here, just make sure that the plastic clip here goes in the middle of the Alcantara, so it kind of helps line it up. Now that we have the boot glued to the trim piece, we are going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, let the glue do its thing, then we'll come back and take the clips off. If we need to add any glue in any places, we'll do that, let it sit again, but we should be good after this. Then we'll go ahead and toss it back into the car. Alrighty, so now that it's been sitting for a little bit, we'll go ahead and take the clips off. and it looks like it is good to go. So we can go ahead and put this back in the car. All right, so now we're back in the car, so we can go ahead and install the Alcantara e-brake boot, and we'll slide it on down. And just like the shift boot, I want to get this installed on the e-brake handle first before we clip anything into place. So that is sitting on there. Then all you gotta do is simply just push down on the trim piece, and the e-brake boot is installed. And just like the shift boot, the e-brake boot does come in matching trims. So if you want to do the black with blue stitching, black with white stitching, or even the red with black stitching, you can get it so both boots match. And with that, that completes the install for the 19 Plus Billerworks Alcantara e-brake and shift boot in this 24 GR Corolla. Be sure to shop billerworks.com for other accessories such as shift knobs, short shifters, and more. Thanks. We'll see you next time.